So let's take a look at the Dynamo. Eric Sviatchenko. Well, Jonathan Bond, all he needs to do is be steady, eliminate mistakes. A couple of them last year, but that's when you're getting that much of a ball as a goalkeeper. There's teams that have a rule. Once you play once to the goalkeeper, you don't play back to him again. But with stability in front of him, I think he's going to have an even better year if he can get that. And I think on his own, he's got to earn you 9 to 12 points with special games. He's got to win you games maybe you shouldn't win. I say that a lot. Eric Sviatchenko now is 34. He's on the backside. Probably lost a step a little bit. Tremendous experience, intelligence. Last year was injured a lot. Can he hold up? And pace will be the issue with Eric and how they set the team up. Antonio Carlos will probably be one of these three if we're basing it on the last game. And then Lucas Halter, the new Brazilian pickup, EC Vitoria, 25 years of age. So you got two center backs, 32 and 34 years old. You got one who's 25. And I guess that's why it'll be interesting to see how the Dynamo play and if McGlynn actually plays pretty deep next to Buzat in midfield. But you're likely going to want to protect them. Buzat is from Vélez Sarsfield, the Argentine player. He's 31. Jack McGlynn's going to, looks like in the last preseason game, drop a little bit deeper, which takes away some of his attacking stuff. But, you have to make choices as a coach. Ben Olsen has to do that. McGlynn is pushing to make a World Cup squad. He wants to go to Europe. So the powerful running of Griffin Dorsey is going to go now to Orlando City. 713-780-3776 if you were at any of the preseason games. Love your observations. 713-780-3776. So then we move into kind of the front three. Guilherme had a hat trick against New York Red Bulls. 31 years old. By the way, be very careful making too much judgment on preseason. Just be careful. I would also say there's nothing wrong with saying you feel the roster is better because it does look better. And there's going to be people on the outside looking in. Where's Linger going to fit in here? Where's Hector Herrera going to fit in here? There's Dwayne Holmes. Is he now going to be a starter maybe on that right side? Who knows? Guilherme's 31 years old, $2.1 million key signing. And he's got to unlock Ponce, as does his team. Ezequiel Ponce, time to put up. If he's got the right supporting cast here as a DP, he needs 15-plus goals. You need a goal scorer. Enough of this scoring goals by committee. You got to have a goal scorer. Can they get him facing the goal to attack things, or is he going to continue to run into midfield all season long and play with his back to goal? That was a big problem last year. By the way, we don't need him back defending. If you don't have faith in 9 guys being able to defend, something's wrong. You have to leave a target high up the field. I just don't agree with that. By the way, you leave a target up the field, they got to leave at least one guy back. Back in my day, it was you kept 2. You had one side by side with the guy and then another guy 5 yards in front. Well, that's different now. But he's got to score goals. And then the DP. Tejas Bogusz has got to get behind the lines. This is a guy trying to go to the World Cup with Poland. Got to make plays as a DP. He's got to make plays. He's not a traditional 10. He's going to get behind an opponent's midfield. He can also be a threat behind. And the Dynamo are going to have to be able to, if they are back defending, they got to get some more verticality and some more aggressive runs and take a little bit of a risk now with the new attacking pieces. But I sure hope it's not going to be the inverted winger, 8 million passes, center backs touching the ball more than everybody else, side-to-side stuff. You're going to have to play some kind of an entertaining game. And by the way, you want to get fans back from the competitive side of it, you want to do your job, you got to have an entertaining team out there, and you got to score goals at home. People come to games to see goals. They understand what that is. Bogusz, by the way, when he was at LAFC in 2024, was scoring a goal every 2 games. Cruz Azul, where the Dynamo got him from. He was injured down there. He struggled a lot. Felipe Andrade, I think, is injured. So Nick Markanich is probably now the backup to Ponce, even though he scored more goals in preseason. Franco Negri could play into this heavily now. I don't know much about him, haven't seen him play. But, you know, when you look at these guys and you see the clubs they're at, they're accomplished soccer players, all of them. They were good pickups, I would think. Now we got to see how they perform. Now we got to see how the team's put together. And, you know, we're not waiting for next year. The team's got to be put together this year because it turns over all the time. And, you know, the rhetoric has got to be about ambition, winning. But this is a selling club. I think until we hear otherwise from the Dynamo, you will continue to see these types of sales when $1 million is on the table. This owner's going to want to grab it and bank it and hope his team makes the playoffs. This is not the mentality of Inter Miami. This is not the mentality of LAFC. It's not the mentality of the top 5 teams in the league. We have to understand that. And that can be done by owners within the rules of this league. You know, how do we know that these deals aren't being cut to satisfy the owner? Hey, you know, Asher Mendelson and everybody who puts these deals together, how do we know these aren't being done for the owner from a financial perspective? Hey, I want to look good. I want to make this deal so the owner's happy with it. You never know. This stuff happens in MLS. So it's a little conspiracy. But they didn't have to sell any of these players. There's ways of keeping them. If you want to win titles and you want to get consistency, there's ways of keeping them. So there you go.